When you first set up your MyFitnessPal account, you're given a few questions to help determine your daily calories. But this number certainly isn't set in stone. Whether it's because you've lost enough weight that you need to readjust your daily calories, which is something you should do every month or so, or you're just ready to take on a more aggressive diet, updating your calories is fairly painless. We have a couple of options to reach our goal settings. You can either select the hamburger button, yes, that's what it's really called, in the top left corner to access the menu and then navigate to goals. Or you can visit the Me page by using the shortcut bar along the bottom and scrolling down to update goals. You now have access to all your dietary and nutritional settings. You can update all the settings that were determined when you first set up your account: current weight, goal weight, activity level, and some more advanced nutritional goals. Make any changes as you see fit. Just know that it does reset your activity level and your macros every time you make an adjustment this way, which is super annoying. Luckily, we have a couple of other ways to adjust our calories. And don't worry, we'll get into macros soon enough. First, let's talk about weighing in. Weighing in can either be a super exciting day or a downright sad one. Just please keep in mind that normal weight fluctuations of a pound or more is totally normal. You can't really get a clear picture of the success until you look at it from a distance. Here's a quick screenshot of my personal weight loss journey thus far. As you can see, there are a lot of ups and downs. If you're looking at this day to day or week to week, it could be pretty disheartening. But stepping back, you can see a consistent, linear weight loss. So to add your weight, you have a few options, the simplest of which is found on the home screen. Simply press this little blue plus button, and then select weight. You'll also see this is a pretty handy little shortcut for adding food. The second way I'll show you is by going to the Me tab and selecting Add Weight. You can now add your weight for the day, week, or whatever method you're using, and even add a progress picture with each weigh-in. Alright, now it's time to set your macros. But before we get into tracking macros, I want to make something perfectly clear. You do not need to do this to be successful. Calories are king. They're priority number one. Just tracking calories alone is enough to get you 70 to 80% of the way there. Macros are important when you're wanting to get the absolute most out of your diet. When you're wanting to really recomposition your body, not just lose weight. If you're new to tracking, just stick with calories for now and enjoy it. Why overload yourself? But if you're really wanting to get deep into this stuff and make some gains, you might want to start tracking those macros. If you're not sure what macros are, I'll be sure to go into more detail on that in another video or a write-up. In its most basic sense, it's how food is broadly broken down. Foods are comprised of 3 different macronutrients: carbs, fats, and proteins. By properly balancing these, you can maximize your diet goals. For example, a runner or sprinter might need more carbs, a lifter might need more protein, and someone on a ketogenic diet is going to be primarily fats. With that out of the way, let's get back to setting our macros. Navigate back to the Goals page, either via the hamburger button or by visiting the Me tab and selecting Update Goals. If you select Calorie and Macro Goals, you're brought to a screen that not only allows you to adjust your calories without fussing around with the goals and having those settings reset, but also allows you to set a custom macro split. MyFitnessPal automatically sets your macros to 50% carbs, 20% protein, and 30% fats, which in my opinion is not nearly enough protein. Obviously this varies based on the individual and what exactly their goals are, but I'm going to throw out the option of maybe setting it to a split of something like 40% carbs, 40% protein, and 20% fat. Think more chicken, more broccoli, and less ranch dressing. So what do we do with all this information? Well, we track it, of course. It's a tracking app. To keep an eye on our current macros, we simply head to the diary page, and from there we can either select this little pie icon in the top corner or scroll to the bottom of the journal and select Nutrition. We can now see a macronutrient breakdown of what we've eaten that day. We can see how our calories are split up by meal. We can see a series of progress bars that fill up as we consume the corresponding nutrient for the day. Now this includes our macros as well, so it's one of the key ways to keep track of just how close you are to reaching your goals. You'll be in here often checking how much protein do I have left, how many carbs do I have left, do I have any fat left for that? And lastly, we can view a pie chart showing us our current macros for the day. If we go back to our diary and view a food item, You'll notice you can see its macro breakdown before entering it. This is super handy when you're trying to plan out your meal and you just need to decide if it's really worth eating or not. Obviously, you don't have to be 100% accurate with your macros. Close enough is more than good enough. Just do your best to hit that protein goal. And for anyone on a ketogenic diet, I'd like to quickly mention the importance of tracking your carbs and fiber via this nutrition tab. It's almost essential that you monitor these in order to actually stay in ketosis. So being able to quickly glance down and see how many carbs you have left is beyond helpful. Or super depressing. I mean, I guess it depends on what kind of day you've had. Now lastly, with a macrocentric approach, it's a little bit more important to plan your meals for the day. If you don't, you might find yourself come dinner time with like 5 grams of carbs, 15 fat, and 60 grams of protein left, leading you to some pretty bizarre meals. Now obviously there are more settings and features within MyFitnessPal, but this covers the basics to get around the app and track successfully. Of course, should you have any other questions about this that I maybe didn't cover or totally missed, feel free to ask and I'll do my best to answer. Please keep in mind that I'm in no way affiliated with MyFitnessPal. I'm simply just a former fatty who found success using the app and noticed a lack of quality tutorial videos out there. Best of luck, everyone. I hope this helped.